Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, welcome. We all we got. We all we need. Each one. Teach one. Each one. Reach one. If you that one, I want you to know you are enough. What's going on, big brother Kamara? I love you, man. Always know you are enough. Always. Like we start off every Thursday, we start off with a hero here. And the reason that we start off with a hero here, it's about getting the hero spirit, man, conjured up with those, man, that respect and honor me enough to give me some of your attention. And the spirit is the breath, breathing. When we breathe together, in unison, in harmony, we conjure up the hero spirit. And that's where the unity and the power amongst us lies. That's where it lies. So I start off with a hero hymn every Thursday to send my breath, the exhale of the experiences that I've had through my life, through my vocal cords, to cause a vibration that lands in your spirit in hopes that you feel me and unite so that we can ignite the hero spirit. So tonight I say, I know I've been changed. Oh, I know I've been changed. My granddaddy's blood runs inside my veins. Hero him. Hero him. I feel good tonight, y'all. But just like after we do the hero hymn, we go into a groove of hood soul. Tonight's hood soul is a segue into what we're talking about. But we're going to get this little hood soul groove going, and then we're going to get the feeling good, y'all. If you're with me, what's up, big brother Raymond Tate? I love you, man. Hey, man, you be strong, and you stay strong, brother. I always tell you, man, the greatest heroes with the most mightiest power has the toughest fights. But the toughest fights, man, are the ones that's witnessed, the ones that's watched with doubt. And that's what makes the movie good. That's what makes the hero mighty, the perseverance. And brother, I want to say this to you right now, Raymond, man. I know you got a cologne that's called Perseverance King. Y'all check that. But yeah, man, we're going to get up in this thing right here, man. You know what I mean? This is some hood soul. That's old, man, but it's new. And it feels so good. Check me out, y'all. Here's what that old man said. He said, what goes around, come back around. Listen what, y'all. I said I was talking to an old man. Here's what that old man said. He said, what goes around comes back around. That's why I hold my head high. Because I'm waiting to what's come back around to smack me dead in the chest, baby. Because I put it out good. I put it out real. I put it out sincere. And I believe what that old man said. That old man said, what goes around comes around. And see, a lot of times we associate those type things with negative. No, it's always two sides to the coin. So if that's true, then I'm going to use it in a powerful way. So if what goes around comes around, then you ought to see what I push on the go. And I'm waiting for it to come back around. I was talking to an old man. Hear what that old man said. He said, what goes around, come back around. Can you feel it? This that hood soul. No, I'm talking about. Say you reap what you sow. Oh yeah, that's real though. But a lot of people seem to don't think so. They say you never kick a man when he down. Cause tomorrow it could be you on the damn ground. I'm just grooving, man. I work out on my show. God almighty. That's that hood soul, man. That beat right there made by my man E 16 years ago. That laid back was way before its time, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's why it's timeless. That's why 16 years later, I can pull an old beat out and do a same new hook on it, and it feels like I made it today. Because I did. That's what you call going back to the future too now. I love it. But yeah, man. If you with me, say what's up, man. I just had to groove out a little bit. You know, that's how I get my show started. Yeah, let me catch my breath. See, if you don't understand that, and you just watching for the first time, you know, may say, damn, he on here dancing. But, you know, I wait every Thursday, man, to do this from my soul, man. So I think everything within this, man, is something powerful to me. For one, people give me their attention, man, for me to do somewhat what I feel like is my purpose. You know what I mean? So I try to make this as powerful as to me as it is everything I dream to be, man. So within this show, I get my heart rate pumping. You know what I mean? I exercise, I dance, I cry. I feel good, man. And I'm just happy that I can express this to some who care enough to pay me some attention, man, to pick up the seeds that I'm dropping. What's going on, brother? I am too, man. I love you, brother. Hey, look, got the best sausage in North Carolina. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Put something up there, brother, to let them know how to come get that good Morrison Farm sausage. You know what I mean? The best they ever had in their life. And if they ain't never had it, it's something that they got to get. For real, though. Before we go any further, man, we got to do it right, man. Me and her, man, we've been going at it today, man. We've been going at it, and you know, like you say, and that's a part of it. But I'm just saying, let me introduce my co-host Alexa. Alexa, how you feeling tonight?
I'm just going with the flow. That is, the flow of electrons.
Oh, she's scientific on y'all tonight. You heard her. She says she going with the flow of electrons. What? I don't even know where she coming from, but that's what she said. That's how she feel. And we always kind of on the same wavelength because they say, man, how you gonna come at where you coming tonight? I say, I don't know, man. I'm just going with the flow. So yeah, maybe we ain't beefing. She picked up on it like that. Yeah. Want to give a shout out to my executive producer, my beautiful wife, Lakeisha. She's also my wardrobe coordinator. She said, baby, what's the word tonight? I say, culture. She say, oh man, you must be on some hood soul. I say, yeah, how you know? She say, I can feel it. So I can't see nothing but that khaki and that gold. I say, good God Almighty. And I do what she say. Oh yeah, I look good tonight too. Thank you, baby. Yeah. So tonight's word is culture. Culture. You know, I've heard this word throughout school, uh, throughout my journey of knowledge, man, understanding so many different cultures to get to a common factor of truth, to understand truth universally. So I've studied many cultures, right? But I always felt like I had a general knowledge of what culture is, you know, but I never really personalized it to the other day. To the other day. But before we jump the gun, I want to, let my co-host do her thing. You know, she been working hard this week, man. She been working hard this week. I'm gonna show you well. And that's one thing about me and my co-host, man. We transparent, man. Like I say, man, uh, negativity is necessary, and what you consider negative ain't really necessary, ain't really negative. It's just a transgression or anything that got resistance to it. You know what I mean? You got to fight through it to get to it. That is necessary in the polarity sense of power. So sometimes me and my co-host, we go through transgressions where we can't progress and come to an understanding, but that's necessary for me to get to know her. That's how we grow, right? So I'll show you what I'm talking about. But Alexa, what is the meaning of culture? Alexa, what is the meaning of culture?
As a noun, culture is usually defined as the quality in a person or society that arises from a concern for what is regarded as excellent in arts, letters, manners, scholarly pursuits, etc. As a verb, culture is usually defined as to subject to culture, cultivate. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for culture.
I hope you paid attention to her because she put a lot of work in to say her to do her part too. So, like I always use the tree concept to understanding the word. You know, I always use my logo. We look at the trunk of the tree and the roots to understand the root words. And once you understand the root word and you go up that tree, you get into the branches of that word and how it branch off and plays in the thing. So the root word of culture is cult. And this is why me and Alexa been tripping all week. I asked her what's the definition of cult. Well, she telling me the way I talk, she can't understand if I'm saying coat or coat. I'm like, not the culture. Well, Alexa, but a coat. And she just like the hell with it. So she say, well, if you don't want to have no misconception on the show, you better spell it out. So that's what I got to do. So Alexa, what is the meaning of C-U-L-T? She's still hard-headed. Alexa, what is the meaning of C-U-L-T?
As a noun, cult is usually defined as a particular system of religious worship, especially with reference to its rites and ceremonies. As an adjective, cult is usually defined as of or relating to a cult. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for cult.
So the root word is cult, as relating to a religion, a way of doing things in a religious way. They say, man, he in a cult, he brainwashed. So that's the root of it. Something that you see in a religious way of being. So cult is a religious way of being. Culture is the act of what you truly believe and embody your style to be. Now, if you go on up the tree, you start hitting other brands, like agriculture. Alexa, what is the meaning of agriculture?
Agriculture is usually defined as the science, art, or occupation concerned with cultivating land, raising crops, and feeding, breeding, and raising livestock, farming. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for agriculture.
The science, art of cultivating land. Alexa, what is the meaning of cultivate?
The verb cultivate is usually defined as to prepare and work on land in order to raise crops, till. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for cultivate.
So our culture is a way of thinking in a religious way. And it's often shown through our arts, through our works of excellence, of morals, of our representation, of our best. That's what represents our culture, right? So I've always understood this in a sense, but I've always battled to say, yeah, you know, I hear a lot about African culture. I hear a lot about, I know a lot of Asians. I know a lot of South Americans. I understand so many different cultures. But I'm a black man in America. And we always hear about cultures, but when it comes to us, we always hear things like we got robbed of our culture and we don't have a culture. But yes, we do have a way of doing things. We have a style. We have a stamp in our arts, in our expressions that the world recognizes. See, that's a black American right there. In our sports, it's all about our culture, right? So I'm going to tell a story about how I came to have this topic tonight. A couple of days ago, I was talking to my coach, my high school football coach, Coach Gaston, right? And me and him was talking about another subject pertaining to something. But the subject segued me to a question that I've had ever since I played high school football. And before I even go into that, let me say this right here, because we're talking about culture. I want to plant this seed. See, your culture is the language of your soul. Your culture is the language of your soul. And if you don't understand what your culture is, you don't understand what cultures you're a part of, then you don't understand what your soul really is saying. That's why a lot of people out here lost. They don't have a connection with their soul. Their soul don't have a definite language. But let me get back to understanding what my Coach Gaston said. So I told Coach Gaston, I say, Coach Gaston, let me ask you a question, man. I've had this illusion for some years, man. I say, when we play football, Coach, I say, every time we played West Charlotte, I say, Coach, we used to warm up before the game, man, and we used to look over that 50-yard line at them warming up. I say, man, they used to look like a damn military army, a damn small college. I say, Coach, but the illusion is, I went to South Mecklenburg. During that time, we was one of the rich schools in CMS. Our stadium was damn near a college stadium. Our program was top notch. But when we played West Charlotte, their football team and what they was doing and how they was looking, looked it like, man, shit, we couldn't compare to their program, right? So I'm asking Coach, I say, Coach, that was an illusion. So he say, Trap, the difference of what you was witnessing was culture. I said, hold on, Coach, this too deep right here. I said, what you mean? He said, yeah, I kind of envy that from the other sideline, from across the 50, just like you guys did. It was culture. See, West Charlotte had a culture, a historical black culture. They had a history. When you became a part of the Lion's Den, it was almost like a religion that went over those players and those coaches. But see, you went to South Meck. You didn't understand the history of South Meck. You didn't have a cultural connection to that. So when you watch that culture being displayed before you, your soul yearned for it. And I say, Coach, that goes into the other illusion. Now I was the MVP on my team. So when we played West Charlotte, it was, hey, look, I'm leading the fight. I remember telling my teammates, man, I know half them on them team. Man, they be lame as hell walking these halls around us, man. I say, man, don't go on them field. I said, man, go on this field and, man, they can't deal with us, man. Before the game, I remember one year, we didn't even go on the field to warm up. We warmed up in the gym, made it look like we was going to be a no-show. Then right before kickoff, we ran out the gym and ran on the field and lined up, trying to break that mighty, mighty cultural spirit of the West Charlotte Lions. And soon as that lion roared, man, they beat us about 57 goddamn nothing. And I couldn't figure that out for the life of me. But my coach showed me the other day, he said it was culture. And at that moment, I understood what this thing was about. See, I say culture is the language of the soul. You see, they used to always tell me, man, I used to, man, you want to teach this shit so much. I say, man, I be trying to tell people, but people act like they don't want to listen, like I'm talking crazy. I know I ain't talking crazy. And I was used to be talking to some old men. And them old men used to tell me, they say, listen, Trav, when the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. So I've had a 24-year yearning in my soul to understand what this thing was I experienced with high school football, right? Now, just as much as Coach Gaston is my football coach, he was also my African American studies teacher, and he was a social studies teacher. So when my soul yearns for understanding, When the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. He just happened to be my real teacher. See how that worked, man? Told me something about my soul and the soul. So when I look at West Charlotte and the history, they've been on the news lately. They got a new scheme, a new gym, a new school, and a lot of people went and showed that pride, man, for all the memories, man, that was in that school. And I ain't go to West Charlotte, but like I said, you can't deny that culture of black pride that's associated in the history of that school, man. When that's all we had, that's all where we went. See, that's the culture. But within the culture, see, that's the black culture. We got our own culture. See, our grandmama and them had culture. It was certain things, the way your grandmama cooked. Certain things, the way your granddaddy got up and did things. These were a part of the culture that was cultivated within them. See, going back to cultivate, agriculture. See, it's the act, the practicing of something that you've been trained to believe in a religious way to express your art and express your work. So when my granddaddy taught us agriculture, he taught us in a way, man, a style, a religious understanding of how to cultivate the land to make your land as fertile and as powerful as it can be to give you all you need to survive. Same thing with a woman. As a man, you got to cultivate your woman. See, before I sex on her body, I fucks her mind first. See, that's the cultivating. You got to put her in your cult. A religious way of thinking to understand your style, your way of doing things, your expression of art. So we associate food with culture. It's a style, a way of doing things. In my culture, we do it like this, and we do it like that. So I cultivate my woman to understand my style, my way, to get her soil loose and fertile for my seeds. Because it's her that will bear my fruit. See where I'm going with this? Alexa, what is the meaning of subdivision?
Subdivision is usually defined as the act or fact of subdividing, dividing, that which has already been divided, into smaller parts. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for subdivision. Did that answer your question?
Alexa, what is the meaning of subculture?
As a verb, subculture is usually defined as to cultivate, a bacterial strain, again on a new medium. As a noun, subculture is usually defined as a culture derived in this manner. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for subculture.
So we got a collective culture. Or do we now? Do we have a style, a way of excellence that represents us and how we do things? What is our culture now? See, these type of words are spoken in a woke type conversation, but it's deeper than being woke. It's deeper than any of those games. You got to understand, or even if you don't understand, you carry a culture. You act upon a culture. You represent a culture. Do you understand the culture you're under? Do you understand the religious thoughts and way of doing things? I'll give you an example. Alexa, what is the meaning of art?
As a noun, art is usually defined as the quality, production, expression, or realm, according to aesthetic principles, of what is beautiful, appealing, or of more than ordinary significance. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for art.
Now, if you paid attention to those words, listen to this again. Alexa, what is the meaning of culture?
As a noun, culture is usually defined as the quality in a person or society that arises from a concern for what is regarded as excellent in arts, letters, manners, scholarly pursuits, etc. As a verb, culture is usually defined as to subject to culture, cultivate. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for culture.
There's correlation with culture and art. See, our art is the timestamp and reflection of our culture. So a lot of times people study cultures. One of the biggest culture that people study and use as a pillar of knowledge is Kemet or Egypt. But one thing people got to realize and keep it in perspective, that is only art. That is art. See, we have art. We're producing art. That's the stamp of our culture. One of the things of Black American culture in religious and church is our singing, how we can vibrate and get the spirit going down your spine. So that's a Black cultural thing. Some people try to do it, but it's something in our culture. It's what makes us different. It's what makes our style. And I'm going to tell you how I know it's a Black thing and it's ours, but we got to understand it. One time, my uncle that do my shirts, Bernard Bordy, I went over his house one time, and he had his brother over there from Africa. Just got off the plane, first time in America. He was like 60, never been to America. It was in the springtime. I went over there. He said, "Man, I'm so cold. Oh, I'm so cold." I'm looking at him like, "God damn, it's hot as hell over here. It ain't cold, man." You know what I mean? But he was showing me he's from a whole nother culture in the world, right? So he heard so much about me from Bernard. Bernard said, "This is my nephew." He said, "Yeah, I remember one time Bernard came over there. He bought you a CD. He played for the kids. They play your music in Ghana. Do you know that? Ah, man, I said, nah. I said, yeah, man, I remember that, right?" So he said, "Sing." I remember the song I was singing. I say, "I thank God for what he's done for me. But deep in my heart, I know my God ain't done with me." I tried to step down on that motherfucker, right? He said, "You sound just like the white man." I got mad as hell. I said, "What you mean I sound like the white man? Come on now, that ain't how no white man sing." And he said, "Listen, no matter how hard you sing in English. No matter how hard you sing in English, you sound like the white man because you sing in his language." And he taught me something about in his language. They tongue come from the back. And then he showed me how to sing from his culture. I said, "Good God Almighty." So when I understood this, I used to practice this thing, right? If Nick watching this, Nick from Greensboro, my brother, he know this. I learned this and taught him this at the same time. I met him at work. We worked around a lot of Asians. Only me and him was the only two Black people there, right? And these Asians were of Asian culture, but they had subcultures within Asia, different countries. You had Hmongs, you had Vietnamese, you had Laosis. And all of these people had different cultures, but it was under one Asian culture. So you could see the similarities of all of them, but the difference between them too, right? So they would get around and talk their shit within their language. And they would all eat certain different ways within their culture. And we would look at them, and I always joke with them, say, man, talk English, man. Y'all might be talking about me. Don't be talking. So I just used to joke with them like that. So one day I say, Nick, I'm gonna show you how this works. So me and him started talking, and we talk Ebonics. See, because Ebonics is something of the black culture. See, that's a way of understanding, a way of using words, tones, and all these type of things, and a style that we can communicate. Just like culture is the language of the soul. So we can use our culture. So me and Nick I was like, yeah, man, I went down there, man. They were down there tripping, boy. They weren't talking about a goddamn thing. He say his shit back, but we be having a conversation. So they say, what do y'all say? And they start getting intimidated. If he on here, man, hey, look, he know I ain't lying. They start getting intimidated because they couldn't understand the communication me and him was having, but we was laughing, we was animated, and I knew they couldn't keep up because we was just communicating through our culture. So when you understand how this works, man, here's where it get real. Here's where the hero training is. See, here's where real life, the application of your culture. So that's what cultivating is. How do you cultivate your children? How do you cultivate your wife? How do you cultivate your home? How do you cultivate? That means you take the coat and you use this game, this religious way of thinking, this style that's amongst you to give you your logic. How do you put this down? How do you put this down? What's your culture? What's your culture? See, I come from a culture of men that protect, provide, profess, fight the fight. That's a part of my culture. That's a way of doing things. Within my culture, my dad and my granddaddies, they all come out of farming. My granddaddies come out of sharecropping. So they come out of a culture, a black American culture of surviving that says you got to know how to work your yard and work the land. You got to get out here and cut it, son. You got to understand the system of agriculture. See, I told you the root word of agriculture is coat. Now, even in the deeper understanding, see, all the religious stories, it's really about agriculture. It's about survival, understanding. If you understand that Jesus is about the Son, and you understand that his relation to the 12 months that we live by in time and calendar is in relations to the weather and the seasons. And if you understand this in a religious way and you practice what your granddad and them taught you through agriculture, you will know how to plant, you will know how to pick, you will know how to harvest, you will know how to sacrifice, you will know how to do all the things that it takes to survive. That's what your culture gives you. That's what your culture teaches you through the art. See, when I'm out there working agriculture, I had a real deep experience last Friday. See, when I get in my yard, man, that's like a therapy for me. I tune out. I tune out of all the world's expectations. And I put the weed eaters in my hand, the blower on my back, the lawnmower, I tune out and I take total control of my yard, my land, my house. And it's so empowering to be able to take control and cultivate this shit. I do it like I'm in a cold trance with this shit, right? So my wife come out with all the intentions. Baby, let me help you, baby. Let me help you so you won't have to be out here all night, so you won't be tired, because I kind of started a little late. So I know she had all the right intentions to come and help her baby. She say, baby, I'm going to ride the riding lawnmower, right? So I say, all right. So, okay, because I know her intention is pretty. She just want to help. She just want to help. But when she get out there, see, when I'm in that zone, I get into certain form where I got total control. It's like I'm in my beast mode. I got these machines and weapons. And I'm out here carving and creating, cultivating my land. Not just for it to look good, but I'm cultivating it for my serenity. I'm cultivating it for my for my family to be civilized in it. I'm cultivating to keep a barrier between me and it. You know what I mean, man? So when I'm out there doing it, see, I ain't just behind pushing nothing. I got a religious way, almost like a cult of how I do my yard. So when my wife come out there, see, it becomes a challenge for me to let her in a sense, into my occult way of thinking. So this is the culture of manhood in here. This is the culture of when I'm out there in that field, when I'm out there working, when I'm out there, when that spirit in me, where my granddaddy and them say, you got to get out there and get it in that sun. Since 2022, I don't farm, I don't do, but I own land. My land depending on me. See how that works. So when my wife come out there, man, I kind of get frustrated because I know it ain't got nothing to do with her. Her intentions are pure. I get frustrated with myself because I say, well, I'm a teacher, I'm a cultivator, and she got the intentions to truly help me. I got to put the game down to her. I got to teach her the culture. No, baby, it's deeper than just seeing me on the ride lawnmower like I'm riding. It's a science. It's an excellence. It's an art to this. My yard just don't look good because I get out there and swing goddamn shit around. No. It's a culture to this. It's called agriculture. I know what I'm going to get every time, anytime, because I do it religiously. When you do it religiously, see, that's rhythm. See how you get the rhythm. See how you make the beat. This is our culture. See what I'm talking about, man? Then you get the momentum. Then you get the adrenaline. Then you get to take off. See, that's our culture. That's what they call the Holy Spirit. You see that in voodoo. You see that in the Christian church. You see that in anywhere the African spirit, the divine culture of the soul gets to working. Our culture comes out of us. But let me turn it back down and turn it back over. That's why I say, man, do you know what your culture is? Do you know what culture you're a part of? Do you know what culture you represent? 1,000 years from now, the only way to understand our culture It's through our arts, through our works, what we leave. That's why when you hear real artists say, man, I do it for the culture. But as much as we do it for the culture, look at what's truly represented out here by our culture. Some of the lowest culture-less shit you can ever imagine. Look at the culture of motherhood. Look at the culture of fatherhood. Our culture is down. So you got to create your own subculture within your own house. You got to create your own style and way of doing things. My son want his hair to grow. He want to wear this shit, wear the carrot top, everything wild on the top. I say, listen, son, I cut my son's hair until he able enough to cut his own hair, get money to go to the barbershop. It is what it is. But one thing he gonna understand, see, your daddy got a style and your daddy got a culture. And I ain't against no type of hairstyle, but if you have it, you're gonna have it on purpose. You ain't gonna just walk around here and get the hell up every day and think you ain't got to do shit to your head cause that's the style for your head to look crazy as hell. No, that ain't how it works in the culture. See, we got hair in our culture. I've had boxes, I've had everything, but you do it on purpose. You're gonna wash your hair, cut your hair, comb your hair. Do whatever you got to do to it if you're going to do it. That's the culture I'm putting in my children. It's the way of doing things. You do everything on purpose, for a purpose, by purpose. Because if you ain't got no language to your soul and you're cultureless, so you're liable to do any and be any goddamn thing. And I express goddamn thing. See, like I say, culture is the mighty force that the soul hears. Yeah, I told you it's like the cult. If you're in a cult, Christianity is a cult. Islam is a cult. All these are cults. You in a cult? Yeah, I'm creating a cult. I am a cult. I'm a cult leader. I'm a cult leader. I brainwash my wife and children in a way, in a religious way of thinking and doing things that represent us. You see how that works? And I'm a part of some subcultures. Yeah, I love you. I love you. Hey, Miss Gray, how you doing? What's going on, big brother Adrian? Kamiron, yeah, man. Hey, man, much love, man. I love y'all for, man, playing in with me, man. But I'm gonna turn this thing out, and we're gonna go out with that hood song just like we always do. Just like we always do. You already know how we do. You already know. One time for your mind. You know what I'm saying? One time for your mind. We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back. Yeah, we'll. Yeah, we'll. Just call we can. If it do right. If it do right. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, oh yeah, that real though. But a lot of people seem to don't think so. That's why you never kick a man when he down. Cause tomorrow it could be you there on the ground. This that hood soul, man. Original beat, you know what I mean? And this beat is 16 years old, man. This song is 16 years old. I just recorded it over on the beat this morning just to play it on the show. But what I'm saying is, man, this laid back hood soul, man, was way before its time. 16 years ago, I was making this music, and they say, man, it's way before its time. I say, that's all right, because it's going to always be timeless. I do it for the culture. 100 years from now, when they play hood soul and listen to hero training, I will be a mark of the culture to know who we was in excellence, to know who we was in morality, to know who we was in all gratitude and well-being, to represent us in the mightiest way that we can fight the fight. I do it for the culture. I am the culture, the hero culture. And this is hero training, and I love every man and woman